Hey guys, Conway Mate here. Today I'm going to bring you a video on just what the end game looks like in this game, my opinions on it, and I'll also be answering a lot of frequently asked questions at the end of this video, mainly because I do see a lot of the questions going on and I may as well answer them in one big video. So the last few days I have gone around trying to find as many questions as you guys have asked, and I have included them in the end of this video. Thank you very much for all the support. I'm raising in numbers because of you guys, so all you guys are amazing. Keep up the work, and please let me know if you want any video ideas in the description. So endgame, what is there to do? So we have Badlands, and the endgame's pretty much doing tournaments in Badlands, also correcting your equipment to get as high as you can. So, as you can see, Badlands, we all know what it is, pretty much, there's elements and all that, and what you want to do is you're obviously going to want to get a build per element, so you can pass those levels a lot easier. And then obviously, if you're versing a fire mob, you're going to want to use Void or Chill, and that's vice versa with everything else. So, pretty much, what are you aiming for in Badlands? So, yeah, in endgame, you're just aiming for the leaderboard system, really, and you're also wanting to get the cosmetics. But yeah, you want to get on top on global, region, guilds, and obviously in your guild you want to try and aim for the highest, but you can't always do that if your guild is full of good people. But pretty much the end game is focusing on high levels and trying to max it out, the cosmetics, and you're also trying to get into a good guild that you can be nice and comfortable in. And that's so when new updates come out, like if there's a guild hunt, everyone's maxed out and it'll make your chances of killing the boss a lot easier. So pretty much what you want to do in the end game is just max out your stats to whatever playstyle you want. Try out new stats, so maybe get as much block as you can, or as much skill damage, as much health. It's all around the game, but it's pretty much all just trying to max out your skills. Also, there's a Regal armor, which just came out. You're going to want to try to get all these. Again, endgame's focusing on just your equipment, trying to max everything out. There isn't too much on. There's just tournaments, Badlands. But they're the main things you want to be focusing on. And obviously you get those from tournament mode, which is your other thing for that endgame. So, as you can see, tournament mode, you go in every single week, you fight new people, new leaderboard, new mobs with a new modifier. So as you can see, mobs, they get really hard, the levels, like insanely hard. Like my level's 360, as you can see this is 392. By the time I finish this video I got up to level 77. And as you see, you just want to try aim for that top position, try to get as many pieces of gear as you want and can, and unlock all the gear for the next update. The best thing to do is, and yes, it is very time consuming, but maxing out all your abilities and talents on that will be beneficial for the future. Because there is word that they're going to be bringing out a lot of hard mobs, and also, there might be guild hunts. I'm not sure about that yet. But pretty much every tournament, you just want to be focusing on trying to aim at the highest. Sometimes you can't, get the highest, mainly because the people are too good. And that's fair enough. You just wait till next week, try again. As you can see, I'm a high level. I've been focusing on my spells and talents for a while, but these max at level 10. So obviously it's going to take a long time. As you can see, mine are fairly high, but mine are only halfway because, again, it does max out at 10. So they're definitely one of the biggest things to max in the game, and they will keep you going for ages. I don't think anyone in the game has max all abilities. Now, so if you want to farm XP, I'll show you guys the best way to farm XP once you hit max, mainly because you don't want to be stressing out your character too much. So as you can see here, in Mystic Tower 2, if I go into that and just quickly speed run through one of these levels, you'll see your loot is the same. Everything will drop at 330. Rarities and all that aren't different, but as you can see, the XP is in the 49,000s. Now, if you go and farm Mystic Tower 3, you'll find you get 50,000 from it. So obviously here, you speed run it through. Again, everything's going to drop at 330 no matter what once you earn it. And as you can see, you've got 500,000. So the best one to farm is Mystic Tower 3. And then I'll show you an example. This is Mystic Tower 5, this is 2 up, and you'll see the XP is not any different. XP is the same. So Mystic Tower 3 is definitely the best one to farm, because it will pretty much, doesn't require much effort. Since you're so high in levels, you can just do an auto attack build, sit there watching videos or doing whatever, and just click boss attack and just farm this over and over again, which I have done quite a few times, and that's how I've got my levels so high. So once you hit max, definitely do check out that one, Mystic Tower 3. It's probably the best one in ease wise, and everything else, there's no point farming up to the max. Now, my opinion on endgame, yes, it could be improved quite a bit. Again, this game has just recently been released, so a lot of people aren't getting to endgame, so they won't have an issue any day soon. I've been playing the game for about 4 months, 5 months, so it's gotten to the point that I'm trying to find things to do. But again, maxing spells and abilities and talents are a big thing in endgame, and the tournament mode is quite challenging. It's one of the things that have kept it going well, so there will be more stuff to come. So moving on to our frequently asked questions. So just a few questions people ask. So the max level, so you see my level's 140 something, I don't remember what it is. There is no level cap as far as I'm aware, but the power level cap is 360. Obviously, again, I explained in this video, the max level of a spell and talent is 10. And the best strategy for beginners, and this is over all of them, it's a fire build. Sometimes you get to level, or to get to Mystic and Mythic, and you'll see it's really difficult. You can change your Shovel Knight to a Glove Knight and actually rotate using Flame Breath. You will knock them down so fast. So that is an option. But a lot of tournaments and everything do have fire abilities. They might change since they've already done fire. But fire is definitely one of the most bursty ones. Chill is for survival, but sometimes you can't actually kill the mobs. Moving on. So this is more around endgame and some other little things, but how do you earn items to how do you get items to 360? So a lot of people don't actually know how to get to 360. You do need to craft your items. So all items will drop at 330. You actually need to craft them from there. Either you craft them to like 340 or whatever, and then craft the 351, but you'd find it's a lot cheaper to empower them. But you do actually need to craft your gear to get to 360. This is another question for the beginners. Is it worth using a key for the Embosses? Well, the last boss of the dungeon, it's not worth it. You get the exact same reward as you would if you didn't have a key. So if you do have a key, it just uses up 1 key. Hopefully they'll change it, but it uses up 1 key for the exact same reward. So I'd recommend not using a key for the Embosses. And should you work on upgrading legendary and epic equipment? Now I've seen this from a lot of people, and if you do my speed level method, you'll see you don't actually use them earlier in the game. So you'll see it's probably best waiting, mainly because you use all your crafting crowns and that's just what I'm going to call them, and you use them earlier, which really isn't worth it, because at the end game, it's getting at 360, you have to upgrade them. So I would recommend saving them till end game, mainly because people do waste them earlier on, and you can end up upgrading above them anyways of common gear. So I'd recommend actually just keeping it and not spending them. And then we move on to the tournaments questions. So, do you keep your mint items? Now, this is a very important one, because a lot of people think you lose your items, or a lot of people think that you keep the mint condition. You do keep the items, so any items you do upgrade or put new stats on, you do get to keep it. So, if you're going to end up going up in levels or upgrading gear, I recommend waiting for mint items, mainly because they're a lot cheaper to upgrade, and plus to empower them, they only cost 75. So if you want to block build, for an example, for your Badlands, I recommend doing it while they're mint, because they won't be mint in a week's time. Do you keep all your tournament chips? Yes, you will keep it afterwards. So if you want to farm a large amount for the next one, so you can go in nice and strong, you can do that. And the max number of chips you can get is 50,000. So what I do is I farm up, around the 40,000 mark. When the next tournament comes, I got all those chips to play with. I can get a nice jump ahead. Now, a lot of people have been asking as well, does joining a tournament late actually help? Yes and no. Pretty much, joining a tournament late means your bracket is smaller, or you verse a lot of people that have joined late. This could be new people to the higher levels, or just in general, you could get a smaller leaderboard. So yes, this can help, but the problem is you get less time to upgrade your stats and less time to go hard at the boss. Now, if you're someone that tries to get as high as you can, starting from the start can be beneficial because you can just sit there and just keep going at the boss until you actually kill them, where you may lose out in 3 or 4 days of doing that. So, you actually lose a lot more time. So it's a give or take. It's up to what you guys want to do. And also, should you compete every week? Now, for myself and other free-to-play players, I recommend not competing every week. Now, what I mean by compete, I don't mean don't have a go at all. I mean, don't upgrade all your gear to max. What I do is I upgrade all my gear to 360, or not even 360, I upgraded to 340, whatever. I put 3 upgrades on all of them. Go as high as I can so I can get all the keys, tournament chips, and the crafting crowns for the rewards. But I actually don't empower all my armor because I don't have enough chips to actually empower them, enough crowns. I'll wait a fortnight, so I have 600 chips from all the rare and legendary I got over the 2 weeks. I will get about 600, 700, and that's when you can start empowering all your gear. You can either do this, or you can just wait till you get a good set and just upgrade them all instantly. But I recommend for free-to-play people, since it is difficult because some people do pay, I recommend just waiting, holding on to all your crowns, and then going a fortnight after. As you can see, I've got a massive bounce on my ones because I waited a fortnight and went straight in. So thanks for watching this video. It was a very long one, so thanks for staying tuned to the end. Like, subscribe, and comment if you want. Hopefully I answered all your questions. If you have any more questions, please post them in the comments and I'll let you know all the answers I know. And stay tuned for the next one.